alignment yesterday. So today we're going to finish up and we are going to, so the benefits and results of assertive alignment is where we left off yesterday. So we're going to start talking about it today. Also, I want to, I also want to go, what is that? Mind over matter. You know what that really is? Okay, if we translate it out, does Aikido, check it out. Ask them, and they will explain it to you. But today we're going to talk about mind over matter, and or we can say spiritual versus physical. Okay, so there's the physical world out here, and there's the spiritual world in here. Okay, because this is the network. We were talking about that yesterday, right? The network in here. Okay, you're not your body. You're not mind over matter. Matter is physical. Okay, when you say mind, okay, you're talking about the spirit. Okay, she'll be here shortly. So the benefits of assertive alignment between the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Okay, so what are these three states of awareness? Well, first of all, the conscious, okay, is your conscious mind. Okay, but all of these three are states of awareness. So your conscious mind is a state of awareness. It's only responsible for 5% of your life. 5%, that's it. Anything you've ever said, anything you've ever thought, okay? Now, what is the superconscious? It's the network we're all plugged into. You can call it God, you can call it universe, you can call it source, whatever you call that. Okay, but manifestation, or let's say it this way, getting the things you want and bringing it into your life is not magic. It's your subconscious. If you train your mind correctly, okay, if you have synergy between an assertive alignment, so we're talking about alignment, synergy between the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, you can bring anything into your life. I do it all the time. Okay, now sometimes you have to wait, okay, because when you form that center point that we talk about, the universe corresponds like this, okay, or God, or source, whatever, however you believe. It has to have some time to go like this, okay? Just like a GPS, when you change course, the blood, right? And it's calculating a new blood, right? And it's calculating a new course. And then it lays out the new course for you. All right. So, discouraged, okay? Because God doesn't look at something as, oh, this is bigger than this. This is small. This over here is big. It's going to take more time. That's not how it works. Okay? That is not how it works. So I've had some big things manifested in like an hour and a half. Boom, like that. Okay. In one instance, it was a $65,000 car. Boom, like that. Hour and a half, and it was done. Will not make it last. It won't stick. Okay. So you can attract money, but money won't stick. Okay. What is money sticking? Money sticking means that it comes, but it stays. Okay. Or it comes and it keeps coming. Okay. So money will chase you if you allow it to chase you. Okay, so money will chase you if you allow it to chase you. But first, you need to do the work to prepare for the money always coming. Money always comes. Okay, now how do you ensure that? Well, you could start a business. You could work for a corporation that, pays you a paycheck, okay? But then there's pays you a paycheck, okay? But then there's other things that you can do on the side. And money will always come. Okay, if you Okay, to me, products are like, you know, and then of course, if you have a good product that can stand the test of time, that's a skill to develop something like that. Okay, to see something like that, to be a visionary for something like that. Okay, because if not, right, products come and go. It's hot for a while, then it fizzles out. Then you have to develop a new product. If you develop people, if you provide service to others to remedy things that people need, okay, that's probably the highest form of service that you can do to humanity. Why is that? Well, if you really want to achieve all of your dreams, or let's say it another way, if you want to have what you want to have in life. So I started teaching. And when I started teaching, and I started teaching late in life, like I was 27 when I started teaching. And I didn't really understand what it was to be an effective teacher at 27. But I saw so many mediocre teachers around me. And I just said, I don't want to be like them. Okay. Because a lot of them, so when you go to teachers, right, here's the thing about teachers, and I got to tell you, okay, I have to be honest with you and tell you, some teachers teach, and some teachers teach out of the right. Okay? Okay, Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, not the left. Okay? He straight to you how smart they are. Okay, how, you know, they want to show you how smart they are. Okay, so they actually demonstrate it and it confuses you rather than gets you through the door to where you need to be. Okay, like that. I had this student. She went on to become a voice teacher, and then she, finally became a voice teacher. And I saw the way she was teaching, and I was like, "Ooh, ouch!" And it occurred to me that, she learned a lot when she was with me, when she was my student. But then when she went to college to get educated, guess what they did? They formed her into what they form everyone in. Okay. And in voice teaching, it was classical music. Okay. Now, classical music is good for classical singing. Okay. But if you're teaching someone classical form and they're singing in English, which the pronunciation is different as well. Okay. So classical form is foreign language because they sing in arias, a, e, I, o, u. Okay. Now, in English, it's a, e, I, o, u. Okay. You can make people sound opera-ish around the edges. So anyway, she went off to college. She came back, and she was really excelling with me. And she came back, and then she was like cookie cutter, like that, like everybody else that went through the education. Okay, so what is the right side? Well, on the right side, you teach from creativity. Okay, on the right side, you teach from inspiration. You teach from conscious is obligated to answer. Okay, it also provokes answers from the superconscious or God. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I was sitting in my chair in the corner of my studio, my teaching studio, and I thought, for a little while it was the chair, so I never replaced the chair. The chair got pretty old. I was there for 24 years in my office, and we were there till the pandemic. And I would start channeling these things. Now, the thing that I noticed was that I would channel. So I'm going to explain channeling in a second, so it's not witchcraft and black magic and all of that. Okay, it's subconscious. So I started channeling. Channeling happens very easy to do. It's from your subconscious. You accumulate data. Okay, you are like a human computer. You accumulate data through your subconscious. You ever been in a conversation with someone and you're teaching them how to do something or explaining how to do something, and then you start saying things that you didn't even know you knew? And you go, oh boy, I better remember that, right? I better remember this. Like I didn't know I knew this. and you're just talking to them. Okay, that's channeling. Okay, that's not witchcraft or anything black magic or voodoo or anything like that. Not demonic or anything. Okay, that's human being. That's subconscious. What the subconscious does is it pulls information. Your subconscious is the book. Ask. Try it. Go sit in the corner, but you have to be still. Sit in the corner of your room. Okay, away from everything. In a corner. Okay, this is why in the Bible Jesus says, pray in your closet. Okay? Go into the corner of your room. Sit still, close your eyes, and ask questions. Okay, you'll start to get answers. But the clearer you are in here, okay, in other words, the absence of anxiety, the absence of negative emotions, anxiety, stress, okay, anger, hate, grief, guilt, shame, fear, all of that, the absence of that. And those feelings, okay, or memories that promote those emotions. We talked about that yesterday, how that works. Then you can channel, because then that information stream is clear, okay? And now you can help somebody else. Now you can explain things to somebody else in a very clear way or with clarity, okay? So when you're in alignment with the conscious, subconscious, superconscious, these things happen automatically. I channel every time I teach. Okay, but that's why I do meditation in the morning. This morning I did 2 hours of meditation. But this morning I did it because last night at 11:30 I woke up again with a sore throat, like I was gonna get some kind of cold or something, and I took my herbs. Okay, so and I showed this to you guys. I don't get anything for this or anything, but this wellness formula actually saved me from illness for 15 years when I was doing shows. Okay, so this is really good. So last night I took 6 of these. That's the normal dosage. And then I did a 2-hour meditation. I got rid of it. I'm 100% this morning. Okay, it took me 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to get rid of it. But I got rid of it. And I'm here to show you guys how to do this. I'm here to show you guys. You don't have to pay me anything. This is free. Okay, I'm not here to sell you anything. You're not going to get a sales pitch at the end of this. Okay, this is mind over matter. Let's say it another way. Speak this one well. Here, if you, just in case you don't want to take my word for it, here, I don't get anything for this either, for mentioning this either. I have no connection to these people. Okay, but this is Dr. Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. What is the mind? It's in here, the energy in here. You're not your body, you're not your name, you're the spirit that lives in here, okay? Read about how to manage that spirit in here, okay? It's a good book. It's not that, facts, right? But you can control your body through your spirit, okay? And this is, martial artists know this, okay? If you know somebody that does Aikido, Karate, Kung Fu, okay, everything is energy in the universe. So with assertive alignment, what you're saying is you're asserting this alignment. You're being firm in the decision that you make with the conscious mind. You're putting it into your subconscious mind in belief. Like last night, for me, it was, I am well. Okay, that's what I said, I am well. The rest of it was thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I don't know, 10,000 thank yous or something. I didn't count. Okay, but a lot of thank yous for 2 hours. And as I was in my meditation, I went into my center and I was very still. And when I got out of my center, I was well. And I went for my run this morning. I worked out at the gym this morning. I did everything, did my morning routine this morning. And I was well, okay? So you guys get all of this for free. I teach my executives this all the time, okay? So now, conscious, subconscious. What about the superconscious? How does that fit in? When you get the belief, excuse my pen, when you get the belief in your subconscious, the superconscious, the network that we're all plugged into, awareness is the network, okay? You can say consciousness, you can say God, you can say universe, you can say source, you can say whatever you want to say, okay? Allah, Jesus Christ, whatever you want to say. But we all have the same awareness. We have different beliefs, awareness. Okay. What happens is it focuses on what's in the subconscious as the topic. And it says, okay, I'm going to give you intuitive thought concerning this. In other words, divine guidance, divine advice, divine intervention, whatever you want to call it, okay? Like that. And that's what it does. I'm breaking it down very simple because when you go to thought leaders, I see so many thought leaders. I'm not hating on them or anything, but I see so many thought leaders getting so, elaborate in it, and then they leave out the last part, which is subconscious. Why? Well, they have books, they have programs. I have a book here, Universal Law of Attraction and Singing. Mostly people that are interested in singing pick this up. It's not about singing. It's about healing through your voice. It's about how your voice can heal you. Heal you from what? Are we making medical claims? No, we're not. Okay, your grief, guilt, shame, fear, negative emotions. Okay, that's what this is about. It's the expression through your voice. And it works for all my executive clients. I have a few non-executive clients, just a few. Okay, and it works for them as well. It works for every human being. If you want to go on the website and read the Science of Confidence tab, it's hereforyouLifeCoaching.com. Read the Science of Confidence. It's very scientific, with velocity, with strength. Okay? And repeated cycles of this gets rid of all negative emotions. I have this girl that I worked with yesterday. She has autism. She's very young. I think she's in elementary school. I think she's sensory overload, okay, in autistic people. And she was just overwhelmed and she would cry. And I would just sit there and go, okay, Uncle's here. Don't worry, you're fine. You're okay. And then I would go, you ready? And she would go like this. And then we would continue. Yesterday, so she's been with me for 2 months now. She has autism. Okay. And it's pretty significant autism, where she couldn't sit still when I met her, where, she would have outbursts when I met her. Yesterday, she's belting out songs, like one after the other after the other, and I take her for a half an hour. She is so confident. Are healing. So this is what I call healing. Okay? It's not magic, it's not voodoo or witchcraft or anything, and it's not medical. We make no medical claims. This is spiritual. This is the energy in here. It works on every human being. I don't care if they have autism. I don't care what they have. If they're human, it works on them. I make no medical claims, just in case, the AMA is watching. I'm kidding, but yeah, no medical claims. Okay? And Darlene, good morning. Good morning, Darlene. Anthony, good morning. So it was so personally rewarding for me to see her progress. Okay, and her sister, she does half an hour. Her sister does half an hour, and her sister's making great progress as well. Very confident. It's so important that we make young people confident because they are going to be in charge one day. They are going to take over the world. It's important that we take care of the children, old people and the children, okay? And women. It's very important to take care of women. They're the ones that give birth to children. They're the ones that nurture children. Okay? Very important. So, assertive alignment. What are the benefits? Rapid manifestation. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean you rub the genie's lamp and the brand new car shows up in the driveway? No. But rapid manifestation, like I said, okay, I told the story yesterday. I'm not going to retell it, but the new car. The first car, my first ever brand new car back in 2007, when I broke the spell, what was the spell? The spell was, right, get a good used car. You know how many people just get good used cars because they're afraid of losing money when they drive off the lot? I'm here to tell you, don't be afraid. God will bring the money for the loss. God will bring the money for the payment. And if you need a little reassurance, just understand that everything in the United States has been paid for. Everything in the United States has been paid for by future generations of labor. What does that mean? Well, of labor. What does that mean? Well, that means that the government is counting on new people to be born. Those people at age 15 will probably get their first job and probably work until their 70s maybe. That's future generations of labor. Clear. Clarity is priceless. Okay, look how many people are just worried all the time. They worry about everything. There are many entities within the general public that are out there which their purpose is to scare you. Fear, 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 fear. Fear, 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 fear. That's all. Always fear, right? Fear of this, fear of that. Okay? And I'm not just talking about the media, it goes bigger than that. Hi, Cooper. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Justin. Good morning. Don't buy into the fear. Why would you buy into the fear? Okay? So let me show you what fear does. Okay? So let me show you what fear does. Okay? So fear does, it makes it close up like this. It's still there. You're still aware. Okay? You're always aware. You were born aware. You are awareness. But when the stress is gone, when the anxiety is gone, when you are clear, okay, clarity, awareness goes like this. It opens up. What happens? Well, you're more aware. You're more centered. Why are you more centered? Because the stress is gone. You're more balanced, confident, and clear. Okay? As you get stressed, okay, this is what happens on a vacation. Okay, you got a corporate job, you go on vacation, you're like this, right? Mm-hmm. First day maybe like this, second day like this, third day like this, right? And then you're like this for about 4 or 5 days or 6 days, sometimes 7 days, because you're on a 2-week vacation. Okay? And this happens in about 3 days. In about 3 days, you're like this. Then the rest of the vacation you spend like this. Then what happens? Then the vacation ends and you go back to the clock, back to the calendar, back to the corporation, back to the regime, back to the same old, the schedule. And then this happens again. It doesn't happen that quickly, but slowly. with the stress of the job, with the stress of the calendar, with the obligations of the clock, like this. Okay? So, how do you get rid of it? How do you protect yourself from it? My executive clients get it. They get it. They get it after they see me. Oneness and clarity. Clarity is oneness. Why? Well, because the first universal law, the universal law of divine oneness, says we're all connected. We're connected, awareness. But we're connected. But you don't feel the connection. Why? Because you're isolated. How are you isolated? You live in this one. Your energy is I'm not here to do those things. I'm just here to tell you how this works and how you can bring things to you by forming the center point. What else happens? Well, increased intuition happens when you form that assertive alignment. But you have to assert this alignment. In other words, you have to do it with purpose. You opportunity opens up, and what do you say? Oh, coincidence. Now, it would be a coincidence if you don't believe in God. But those of you that believe in God, just know that it has to be all God or not. You cannot say, well, this is all, these good opportunities over here are from God. These opportunities over here were random. Yeah, I couldn't explain these. These are just random. No, they're either all God or they're not. I'm here to tell you that God is real. Perspective. But God is an energy. This is why the Indian philosopher Shanakwa said, right, your feelings are your God. Why? Well, when you have good feelings and you project good feelings onto that energy field that permeates the entire universe, it shoves it back to you in kind. It pushes it back to you. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Okay? Okay? What's another result of okay, so you project the energy out, the energy comes back. You project the energy out, the energy comes back. It comes back to you. The kingdom is within, God is in here. Okay? The energy. So it's the energy in here projecting out there, returning to this one. And what happens? You build up this one. This one becomes magnetic. This one starts to attract. How does it attract? Conscious, subconscious, superconscious. And your stress virtually just dissipates. affirmation. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. Because you cannot control the outcome. Okay, you have no control over the outcome. All you have to do is being grateful now that I'm confident, thank you. That's a good one. Okay, because when you're confident, you have clarity. You're clear. When you're clear, or doubt and fear. So, what's the solution? The solution is to make sure that you establish the new belief, the new core belief in your subconscious. Maybe you had a belief that doesn't serve you anymore. You know those beliefs that parents put into us when we were young? Don't go by the road, you'll get hit by a car, right? And then pretty soon you grew up, you went by the road, you go, wow, I've been by the road 1,000 times, I never got hit. Therefore, okay, scratch it off the list. That's right. That's be. Well, I've been to the stove 1,000,000 times and never got burned. Okay, cross it off. These are false beliefs. Okay? Bad intentions. I worked in an environment, in a couple of very highly toxic environments where people gaslit each other every day. I think it was just a habit. You know, it was a habit in their subconscious. So they didn't see it. They didn't understand exactly that they had this pattern of doing it. You know, I saw it, right? And I'm like, whoa, I just didn't buy into it. I didn't pay attention to it. And when people are doing this and you have clarity in here, you will see the divisiveness. It's as plain as the nose on your face. You will see it. People can people can see it when you just talk about something. But maybe you're just talk about something. But maybe your body language is different. Maybe you talk about, you know, preach about something, whatever it is. Oh, you should do this, you should do that, whatever. And then they see you do the opposite. I have religious friends that do that. They go to church. You do the opposite. I have religious friends that do that. They go to church every Sunday, every Sunday. And they are moderate. But right around Wednesday, right, they begin ranting online. I'm like, oh, okay, so much for, okay. But I guess they go back on, you know, next Sunday and redeem themselves. Okay. But they go back on, you know, next Sunday and redeem themselves. Okay. But it's that cycle. But the cycle is in the subconscious. Or was it a secondhand car? Even though I try to manifest a better life, I feel like it never gets better because you have to do it in your subconscious. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization. Because you have to do it in your subconscious. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization of themselves after a while. But you have to themselves after a while. But you have to get over old paradigms. You have to get over old beliefs. Now, or temporarily, or at this moment. And this is what I always talk about, reframing your dialogue because your subconscious is listening. That's emotion. Okay? I'm here to help. I'm not making fun of you. Okay? So I feel like it needs to improve. There you go. Now you're on a better trajectory. See? Okay. We've all been there though. Don't worry about it. Okay, I've been there too. Thanks for the help. I used to think I was cursed, but now I've gotten and it remembers. Don't say can't afford. Oh yeah, right now. Good. Good job. Good job. I missed that. Sorry. You're right. I watch your live. It makes me feel better. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you feel better. Tell. Ethnicities are another thing that requires a bit of attention. Okay? So you need to pay attention. Just know that attention is a transaction. Why? Because I don't know what you're asking. Let me know what you're. Oh, I see. That's AI. I'm sorry. I read the wrong line. Okay. Oh, I see. That's AI. I'm sorry. I read the wrong line. Okay. Anyway, so synchronicity, not synchronicities. That's an algorithm. Okay. And I'm going to tell you how an algorithm can go into your personal life in real life without your phone. Okay. Through your reticular activating system in your brainstem. Okay, but first I will say that synchronicities are like when you're standing on the street corner talking to your friend. You're talking about going to dinner this weekend to your friend. You're talking about going to dinner this weekend at a steakhouse and you see the maybe at a mall, maybe at a sporting event where there's a lot of people. That's synchronicities. People think these are all coincidences. Okay, now let me show you how you can, you know, totally be on this one and it will transfer into real life. Okay, ready? Here we go. An algorithm will feed you what you're interested in on here, what you like, right? When you like something, more of what you're into, more of what you like, more of. Oh, I'm kind of sad, right? Your reticular activating system in your brain, okay? Your brain stem. Look it up, it's a thing, okay? It will focus on what you're focused on and it will block out what you're not. So after seeing, this sad, right? After feeling sad, so you're feeling sad. Now sad goes into your subconscious. The reticular activating system in your brainstem goes, "Oh, we're feeling sad? Oh, okay. The topic is sad. What does the reticular activating system?" And now you think, "Wow, this world is really sad." You get discouraged. It's making you depressed. And then in making you depressed. And then in real life you start getting that car, right? Okay, so now your reticular activating system goes, "Oh, that car?" Your subconscious goes, "Oh, got it. That's the topic." Now the reticular activating system picks out all convertibles that are in public as you're driving down the street. And you go, "Wow, I never knew there were these many red convertibles." Look it up, reticular activating system. So how can you fix this? Okay, if you've been seeing stuff online and you see it in public and all of a sudden you think the world is, an evil, cold place, how can you fix that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you're feeling sad, if you're seeing things that back up that emotion, that enforce that emotion, that provoke that emotion, what can you do? Here you go. I am so happy and grateful now that I am happy. I am so happy and grateful now that I am joyful. You can write yourself into a better mood. You can speak yourself into a better mood. You can meditate yourself into a better mood. You can vocalize yourself into a better mood. You can visualize yourself into a better mood. When you apply all four pillars, and you can go online, you can go into Google's AI and put my name in there and put teaching method on the end of it, and you can get my whole curriculum, everything. You don't have to pay anything. Okay, that's why I'm here. Okay, yesterday some guy goes, "Oh, a grown man making money on TikTok." No, I'm here for free. This is my volunteer work. I will give you my teaching method. So you can bring yourself out of any condition, any emotional condition, mental condition. And guess what that does? When you improve your emotions, okay, like I said about making the imprint, when you improve your emotions, your life gets better. So many people are depressed. So many people are, a lot of negative circumstances happened. I'm just gonna say that. Very negative. Okay. Lives and you'll get it. You'll get it. And your life will turn around. I turned people's lives around very quickly. Okay, that autistic girl, very quickly. She's only been with me 3 months. She's excessively, what I want to say, very excessively and assertively confident. It doesn't matter the condition of the human being. Okay, I mean within reason. Okay, there's some human beings that obviously can't do that. Do a fast summary of this thing. I wrote it down for you. Assertive subconscious emotional agreement and superconscious guidance, that's the intuitive thought, okay, into one unified direction. So another one thing. And these things, and you can have multiple things during the day. You don't have to just focus on, okay, one thing, that's all I get to do for 6 months. And no, 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 no. You can switch directions. You just cannot counter manifest. This month, thank you. And your second thought is, well, tell you, okay, the how is God's job. I used to write affirmations for $5,000 and it came in the form of 3 to 4 contracts. Sometimes, do you think I was complaining if I started? So get this, you guys, there's two types of wealth. So get this, you guys, there's two types of wealth. You can get wealthy two ways, okay? So you scrimp and you save and you live like a, I don't know, right? You live small. You live like a, I don't know, right? You live small, okay? Oh, okay? And you deny yourself all kinds of things. You invest it and you bank it. And we hear stories about people like that, right? And they get millions of dollars towards the end of their lives. And they're worth dollars towards the end of their lives. And they're worth millions. Worth millions. And then they die and leave it to a cat or their family or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Have they had a good life? God gave you this for a reason. God gave you this blessing for a reason. To have a good life. Abundance is your birthright. You have the right to live as you want to, even within the system. As you want to, even within the system. Okay? Okay? My fellow Christians say, let go and let God. They also say, walk by faith and not by sight. They also say you can live in the world and not be of the world. What does this mean? Just superconscious alignment. This alignment that I'm talking about. When you do this alignment, guess what? Money comes, things come. Okay. I always tell the story about one of my clients. I was teaching her daughter, and she came to me, and she said, "Boy, my van is always breaking down. I always tell this story, so if you heard it, bear with me, a couple of seconds, okay?" And she goes, "Wow, my van is always breaking down and everything." And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you this affirmation. You're gonna write it. You're gonna till you believe it, whatever, okay?" In 2 months, she comes back to the office, and she goes, "You'll never guess what happened." And this is these are the stories I live for, right? Because they say, "You never guess what happened, Uncle. You never guess what happened." And I go, "What?" She goes, "Well, my best friend called me, and her husband's in the military, and they have to leave Hawaii, and she said I can have her van. It has 10,000 miles on it. Looks brand new though, and all I have to do is do the paperwork, the registration." And I said, "Well, there you go." What is the lesson there? The lesson there is if you think that money is the only way you can get something, you're suffering from limited thinking. It could come to you in a plethora of ways, a myriad of ways. Okay, according to quantum physics, an infinite amount of ways. There's not just one possibility or two possibilities. Okay, let's say you desire something. There's not just one possibility, two, three. Just these three possibilities, that's it. No. Infinite possibilities. So you can do it the college way. You can do it the high school education way. You can do it the no education way. I know people, very, very wealthy people, that have no sense of education whatsoever. But they're wealthy. Why? Because they know they're going to get money, and they get money. Wallace D. Wattles, in his book, The Science of Getting Rich, says, blockheads get rich, stupid people get rich. Like anybody gets rich. Okay, and then there's wealth. What is wealth? Well, it's a combination of health, money, relationships, love, all of that. That's wealth. Okay, some of the richest people in the world are not wealthy. They're only rich. They only have money and assets. Their personal lives are crap. You see this when you read biographies. Read the biography of Howard Hughes. Okay? Poor thing. All he had was money. But read the biography. Or watch it on YouTube or whatever. So, just because someone has money does not mean they have a better life. Just because you scrimp and save and save and save and save and pile up your assets, you can die with all your assets in the bank. You don't know when you're going, right? We don't know where we're going. I could go right now on my live. Hasn't happened yet. I'm not idea they were going. They had no idea. Okay? It can happen again. I'm not here to preach fear or anything like that. I'm here to say, love your life. Love what you have been given. And don't worry about those kinds of things, because if that happens, guess what? This is eternal. This is temporary. Your body is temporary. Your spirit is eternal. That Don't have any fear of those things. It's bringing you sustenance. That brings the new cars. It brings the new house. I talked to a realtor one time. He was a very wise old Chinese man. And I told him, I said, in my experience in life, it's when you make the commitment, when you sign the papers, when you sign the mortgage, when you sign the bill of sale, when you sign the real estate contract, money shows up to support it, right? Because your term is 30 years. Pretty soon, 50 years, they're talking about it, right? But 30 years, that's a long time, right? Anything can happen. You can lose your job in 2 years, in 1 year. But most people go 30 years, right? And he had tons of properties. He had a lot of properties. Properties are not really my thing, but he had a lot. Okay. Don't have that fear like, oh, if I sign the contract, I don't know, I might lose my job in 10 years, and then what? Yeah, then what? Give it to God. Okay. Walk by faith, not by sight. That's the second way of wealth. It's worked for me. It's always worked for me. I was sleeping on a street in 1980 for months. Everything came back. Why is that? Because I attracted who I was. Down the subconscious tree really quick for you, okay? The roots of the subconscious tree, your core beliefs, okay? Those are the roots. The trunk of the tree is your paradigm, your outlook of the world, your worldview, how you see the world. That gives birth to your actions. But it has a roof. I'm glad your cabin has a roof, Manuel. That's my friend Manuel. That's my friend Manuel. And Jay is saying, see you tomorrow. Thanks. So right, though. Be grateful for what you have. Okay. And if you get sick, like I had twice already. Okay. Twice already in 2 weeks. I had that sick because the weather is changing. Okay. If you start to get sick, okay, take your herbs, do you don't recover 100%. Okay, I've been lucky last 2 times I did it. This is mind over matter, or let's say it another way, spirit over body. Okay, body, okay, spirit. Okay? Or you might even just get rid of it like I did. Okay, so anyway, that's just a little tip for you guys. So, thank you, and we're gonna cut loose of our international stream here on Streamlab.